in the front yard. It was horrible. And whoever,
We sent the marshals over there to take care of it.
and whoever saw the 433 where they turned the parking. This right here. Is this their property right here? I don't know. I thought that was John Thompson. Well, there's
Sherry.
Hey, Sherry, it's Brad Kellner.
Hey there.
Hey,
Hey, Brad.
Yeah, put your phone on mute until your item's called.
Okay, I
right.
will do so. Thank
Yeah,
you.
And you can hear us okay?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you.
All right, at this time, we're going to call to order the meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission. It is actually 6:01 p.m. We're going to start with a roll call. I see that present, we have Laura Powell, myself, Elizabeth Jones, Jane Camp, Faye Rossi, and Susan Brown. Additionally, we have city staff Brad Callender, city planner, and Laura Wilson, code administration. Next on the agenda, we are going to have an approval of the agenda. Well, first, we'll have the approval of the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review and look over the minutes? Do we have any changes or corrections to the previous month's minutes? And I'm going to wait till you get back up here so you can speak to that. You're fine, honey. Does anyone have any changes or corrections to the previous month's minutes? Do we have a motion to approve as submitted?
Also moved.
Jane Camp has moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so passed. All right, we're going to move on to old business. The first item of business, we have a request, COA 115 6th Street, new construction. Can you step forward, sir? Good to see you today. Thank you.
Thanks, same here.
Refresh everybody's memory on your project. I remember we asked you for additional information, if you could present that to us.
Okay. Yes, so the property is a house that I own, address 115 on 6th Street. But there's an adjacent lot, which decades ago, I think, was contained into the same lot. I'm trying to just divide that lot for the purpose of building a home on the new lot.
Mm-hmm.
So really, at this point, I've submitted a sketch of a site plan and a house plan that I was considering. So I was just seeking the first step of approval, knowing I'll be going to other matters after this.
Okay. Brad, I'm going to defer to you on that because, as I understand it, we cannot approve the actual division of the lot, but what's going to come before, that would go before planning and zoning, but to my understanding, but what would come before us is whether we approved a proposal of a new build to resemble the neighboring structure based on the pictures and plans submitted, and if we found that proposal fit into the historic framework of the district. And if the new structure was not completed in a timely manner, the applicant would return to the HPC for approval before construction began. Am I right in thinking this?
So when you say, once you guys have granted approval, the timely manner, what is that? I don't think there's anything specific in your primer that says that once you've granted approval, because we've allowed people like a year after they finally get a project going that you let your approval stand. I would say that if you condition it, maybe, I'd give them some period of time. He has to still go in front of city council, so there's 3 extra months right there alone before he can
Right.
even think about a permit, so,
I'm not necessarily anxious to build it right now, but I know that there's time involved. And plus, in case I wanted to sell the house that I have, I don't want to sell this with it. You know, that could come up early.
Laura, can we approve the proposal that he is, what he is showing us, as long as it fits in with the district, and then let the zoning and planning decide on the split of the parcel?
I mean, I can answer that. I mean, yeah, that's right. I mean, that's, because actually, your purview is one of the first steps, and he needs a variance. So your purview is one of the requirements for him to pursue a variance in front of city council, is that he has to go in front of this body to get your blessing, essentially, that if he proposes to abide by the historic preservation guidelines, and he wants to build this structure, he needs that step to be completed first before the council can consider a variance.
Okay.
And in this case, this is a mill lot, and this is one of the numerous mill lots that just, for whatever reason, was absorbed into his existing home lot. There's 3 down the street that are in the same way, but they have a stream going through them, not the case, and for him, in his particular, on his property.
Does anyone in the public has anyone looked at this and have any questions?
I do.
Is it, before we get to our questions, does anyone out here have any questions? Go ahead. Right. I would even actually agree with you. I would agree with you on that. Okay. Any other questions from the public, or any other comments from the public? Does anyone here have any comments or questions? Faye?
You have submitted a picture of a house, and we have seen what you've already done that's on site. These windows are not correct in the picture that you
Oh, in the
have.
plan?
Remember, they're 6/6
Right.
in the Mill Village.
Okay.
So that, to me, would be, if we prove it, instead of approving this picture, I'd almost rather approve what you've already done, something that was
Sure.
approved.
That's fine. And the windows, you know, I didn't have the option when I printed that off to
Right.
choose. And I
I think
understand
these are
that.
6/6. What's shown in the packet, they are 6/6.
What I'm looking at is not 6/6.
That's a 6/6 window.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry, didn't see
I
the
thought I was-
divider.
Okay, well,
I thought we were looking at
Maybe
something
it is.
different.
Okay, well, as long as we are in agreement, 6/6.
all right, that's
then I'm
fine. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and the pickets are right for the balustrade,
Okay,
whether or not you have the rafter tail showing or not is, it just needs to look like what you've already built.
sure.
Okay, so I guess we need to put the motion into some type of exact words. We need to approve a motion of a new build to resemble the neighboring structure based on pictures and plans submitted. Is that correct? Okay. Do we have a motion?
I so move.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? All right. Motion approved.
Thank you.
Unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming up here. We appreciate your time. All right, new business. Oh, actually, before we, you know what, I failed in asking something before we move forward. I did not ask, I had understood, Faye, that you had an agenda to add, something to add to the agenda. Is that the case tonight, or do you want to wait?
Table it.
You wanted to table that?
Sorry, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the items that Faye and I talked
old
offline
business?
before the meeting. I think we're okay. I don't think there's a need for that discussion. I think we're okay.
All right, then we're going to move
Plus,
into,
there will be, further council
Right.
action, and she'll be able to see that ordinance in the future. It's not disclosed to the public yet, but I think we've.
sounds good. We're going to
But
move right
if I
into
may,
new business.
Can I speak to
then.
that just 1 second? So Faye did attend the city council meeting this past month and stated her concerns about a proposed short-term rental ordinance. We didn't discuss that at the last meeting here. And so just to bring everyone up to speed, though, Faye was there present along with many other citizens to discuss that ordinance specifically. And Ms. Brassey raised some issues, and I think that the council heard those issues. And I think the next draft, you'll see those changes
In regard to
reflected.
short-term rental.
Just that, I mean, not to be off the agenda, but just I
No,
wanted
but
to
are
briefly
we
touch
good
that
with,
so the other
saving that for
members
the
know.
next meeting's agenda then? Is that what we want to do?
Well, we may not even need it.
I don't think, unless you just specifically want to discuss it, I mean, the short-term rental ordinance will be an administrative document that, I mean, if there's someone making changes to those historic structures, you're going to see it no matter what. I mean, if you wanted to ask if it's a short-term rental or not, you can, but it's not you don't have to make your judgment based on whether it's a short-term rental
We
or not.
addressed the concerns that I had for our commission based on historical needs.
Correct. It was specifically things that the HPC does allow, is what Ms. Barassi was talking about in regards to windows and paved driveways.
Okay, I just did not want to overlook any agenda items. So let's move on to new business. The first item of business is going to be request for COA 104 3rd Street exterior changes. Do I have anyone there to speak to that?
Yes, this is Sherry Hawkins. I'm here by phone.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi there. Thank you for allowing me to attend remotely.
Tell us about your project.
So right now, this is just a basic remodel. We are just sprucing up the exterior, especially regarding the trees and shrubbery around the house, but replacing the front porch with the same style railings, staining the porch and steps. The main areas that would appear different with this request would be adding a small porch on the right side of the house to replace the middle window and including a door there. And there's a picture of that porch example and door. And then adding a similar porch, same style of porch and door on the back side of the house to replace the kitchen window. And then enclosing the back corner of the house, which is currently just an open stoop, to create an enclosed storage room.
Should we take those one at a time?
Well, first I'm going to ask if anyone in the public has any questions or comments about this property. No? Do we have any comments here? Faye, do you want to take them one at a time, you think?
I think, don't you think I said to go over one at a time?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out how to go. I'm
Let's
trying to get a listing.
Trying to figure out where it is.
It just keeps scrolling down after the last
I
one.
think add a door in place of a window in
It's
the
got
back of
three,
the house.
three big yellow arrows.
Is that where y'all are?
Yeah.
Add a door in place of the window in the back of the house.
That's the first
And
one. listed
enclose
here.
the back corner for storage room, add vinyl siding to match. And add a door and small porch on the side of the house. Okay, the first one was, what do y'all, all right, do we want negatives or positives? I'm gonna start with a negative. The door and small porch on the side of the house is not appropriate for that type structure. I know you showed a picture of a different house that you had done, but this is not the same type of architecture, and it would ruin the integrity of the house for you to do that.
Okay.
So the porch on the side of the house would be a no, I mean, we'll have to vote on it, but unless, whatever y'all think. There's not a single side porch that I could find in that mill area. This typically, when you add on to those mill houses, they're shotgun houses, and you add on in the back. That's just the normal way to
Okay.
add on to those.
Okay.
There's no problem about the integrity if you add a porch in the back or you enclose the side.
Okay.
Anybody have anything else? Oh, and you may remove the shutters if you don't want to, because you don't have to have shutters on the mill houses.
Okay.
I'll save you some money, at least don't replace them. And
All right.
the front pickets, that's the correct style, not the hog wire that we have seen on some places in town, and not the wrought iron that we've seen. So you
Yes.
got the right front look.
Yes.
And I don't have a problem with the change of light fixture or the door, give more light,
I think she
the door
would have, if she put the front door, she'd have to come back before us, I think.
on the front door. The front door looks like it's,
It may not
window.
be original.
but I don't know. if
There's a storm door
it's
there.
a storm
yeah.
door in front. I can't tell anything about the door. And the one you proposed was 4/4, 2/2.
It is 2/2, the same as the ones at the 706 South Broad. The existing door in 104 is actually just a storm door and an aluminum door.
Yeah. I think you covered it. So what? I think you covered everything.
Are you guys okay with the door? The door she's proposing?
This is the door she's proposing. It's not, it's for, that, this is the door she's proposing.
Let me see that.
What did you think?
I think it's okay.
It's very similar to the last one that was up on that house.
Do we need to, when we make this motion, do we need to separate it into the different items, probably? Okay.
I think the only thing denied was the first, the side porch.
Okay, let's go ahead and let me find that list again. Let's see. Let's go down the list. The add door in place of window on back of house. Do we have a motion to approve or deny this one?
I move that we approve them.
A second.
To add the door in place of window?
Not the side, the back.
This is in the back, okay.
In the back, no problem. And
Okay.
she can have a porch in the back if she wants.
Okay, so we have an approval by Faye, we have a second by Jane. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then the second thing on the agenda here, we have enclosed back corner porch for storage room, add vinyl siding to match. Oh,
I move that we approve
wait.
that.
There's no vinyl siding allowed in the city, so she would have to pick a different building material
Okay.
than vinyl.
Yeah, I would love to change the entire house to not include the vinyl siding, but we just don't know the condition underneath and what we would need to replace. So what would be allowed if we don't match the vinyl siding?
Hardy plank, I believe.
already plank.
Okay.
We need a motion to enclose the back corner porch for storage room and add either hardy plank or woodlap siding to match. Do we have such a motion?
I'll motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? That was unanimous. All right, the third thing on the agenda is to add a door and small porch on side of house in place of window. Do we have a motion to approve or deny?
I move that we deny that based on the integrity of the, and style of the architecture.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Okay, Faye has made a motion, Jane has seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimously denied. Do we have anything else on this agenda? No? Laura?
The front porch and door.
Oh, yes, that's true. Okay. So let's look at those. I see the door. What were we going to do? What are we doing at the front porch? Replaced, okay? So we would need a motion to replace the existing front porch with the same look and then replace the front door as pictured. Do we have such a motion? Go ahead.
I'm not seeing that door clearly enough to know if she should put that same existing door in or not.
It's the door that's pictured on the last slide. It's the one that we replaced at 706 South Broad. So we're wanting to match that door that was replaced at 706. And it's pictured on the last page.
Yeah, I see that one.
So, yeah, we're not replacing the existing door to match the same one that's on 104.
I don't see that there's a problem. You're keeping the same windows as 6/6, right? You didn't say anything about changing any of the windows other than making them into doors.
No, I thought we were talking about the door.
We
I thought
are, but
that
I'm
was
asking you a question about the windows first. You're
And
not
what was the
changing
question?
any of the windows, are you?
Well, I was not planning to change any of the windows, but as I'm looking at the picture of the house, the side window that I was asking to be replaced with a door and porch, that window actually does not match that first window.
That's why.
So that was actually going to be one of my next questions. Since that side porch and door was not approved, could we replace that window to match the front window?
You need 6/6 windows in the Mill Village.
That's
I'm
what she's
looking at
saying.
what your.
Yes.
As long as it's
front was.
6/6.
Yeah, she's got
I
that in the
can't
front.
see her.
So we would need a motion to approve the front porch, replace the front porch as it originally was. Just go ahead and replace it. And then approve the front door with the new door pictured, and approve the window on the side that she had formerly wanted to replace with the door, approve that as 6/6.
And the railings on the front porch.
And, yeah, the balustrade in the front. Okay? Did we cover everything? I like that. Okay. I make a move that we do that. Allow that.
Second.
We have a motion from Jane to approve as presented, is that correct? I'm not Jane, I'm sorry, from Faye, to approve as presented, is that correct? Faye?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, I looked over here when I was looking at her, all in favor?
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right, so approved.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank y'all for bearing with us. Next on the agenda, we have 211 Boulevard, carport, deck, and fence.
Hello.
Hello, good to see you again.
Good to see you. So we need approval or COA so that we can get our CO from the city in order to move, well, in order to legally live there.
Okay, and I want to ask at the beginning, has this work already been completed?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
All right, is
The
there,
deck we did last year. It was the first project we ever did on the house. It was done.
This is the first time you've come to us for this. It was done without approval.
Yes, ma'am. We didn't know that, I mean, you were over there when you saw the garage and you were standing in the yard beside it twice and you never mentioned it. The inspector's been over there 8 or 9 times and he never mentioned it either. We were only told that we needed it the day we went to move in and try to get our CO. As a matter of fact, it was our second time trying to get the CO. The inspector had approved everything except a gas valve. And then 2 days later, when he came back to check the gas valve, he informed me that he was instructed to tell me we could only get a partial CO because of the deck.
okay, well, let's go down the list, the agenda of the items that we're looking at.
All right.
You want to tell us a little bit about them?
The deck, I think I've provided pictures there. Everything should be detailed on the pictures. None of this is visible from the street.
Her pictures are sideways. She can't
So are mine.
Mine are too.
Mine are too. Some of them are.
The deck comes out equal to the screened-in porch on the right side and goes to the end of the house. It doesn't extend into the yard or anything.
I can start with something good. I like
All right.
black wrought iron fence.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I used the same company as the people down the street, and it turned out very well. Thank you.
But we got lots of problems here, folks. It's not here, but do we need to also include the garage?
We got that approved already.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, that was,
Not what, the picture is not approved according to what you've built.
What do you mean? The dimensions are
Got
exact?
shed dormers and you have gables in the picture. Who's got the picture?
The gables?
Here's,
The dormers have gables and you've got shed dormers. She's got a
do we
picture.
have the one that was original?
That's what we approved.
Do y'all have a problem with that? You do? Okay.
I got several
No
problems.
one else has a problem with
We're
it?
going to try to work with you.
Okay,
though,
I understand, but
But we do have some problems.
were there
We're trying to work-
radius doors in those pictures?
Do what?
Were there radius doors or square doors in those pictures?
I'm not talking about the doors. I'm talking about the dormers.
I understand what you're talking about, but at that meeting, you suggested that I put in radius doors, but that wasn't in the picture either,
I think
so.
we need to focus on the deck at this point.
Let's go down the agenda of the things that we're looking at that are here on this agenda first, and then Faye, we can come back to the dormers, but let's look at what we're trying to approve here. We've got a carport, a deck, and a fence, so let's look at the carport first.
Okay, the carport is a shed roof.
Exactly as the back of the house is, matches the house.
But the integrity of the house is not only the front of the house, it's the whole house, and it's also the landscaping. Okay? We worked really hard with you on the three-car garage to get it so that it would go with the house, right? Yes, we did.
I'm not sure how hard you had to work to
We did
approve a
work
beautiful
because,
structure, but the gable,
neighborhood
the
did
roof on the structure in the back is the same as the back third of the house. The metal roof is the third of the house on the back. It matches exactly.
I didn't say, it's not that it matches. What you've got is an attachment to your house that has a shed roof. And not only is it a shed roof, it's like a barn roof. A shed, it's untreated wood next to a very fine white.
It's untreated? Do you know what
I
kind of
mean,
wood
not
that is? It's
treated.
Fraser fir, ma'am, that I ordered in, and we had to have it milled especially. I have over $20,000 in that
Excuse
shed.
me, unpainted, not untreated.
It's stained.
It's
Hey, are we-
not painted.
Are we
Right,
looking
it's
at
stained.
Are we looking at the carport right now?
Right, the shed roof on the carport, and it has, the down vertical members are unpainted. And they are also unpainted on that, around on the side with the deck. And they've used hog wire to hold between the two. Between the posts.
Okay, so does anybody have any questions about the carport? Anybody else have any comments or questions about the carport?
Well, I looked at the size of it, and I looked at the side of the house, and it is way out of proportion this way for the rest of the house. I know it's the size.
It's only 20 feet long. It's barely big enough for one car.
I know that, but
Oh, okay.
still,
And the house is 4,500 square feet. So I'm wondering, I'm just asking how you say it's out of proportion.
well, you can take a picture and look at it. It's like almost half the size of your house. Huge.
You may want to come look again, ma'am. With all due respect, it's not half the house.
I'm just gonna tell you what I saw. We haven't voted. But this is the picture I took today. And I can show you the one I took with the looking side by side from the very, so I could get the whole front and back in.
Does anybody else have any comments about the carport or any questions about the carport?
It's about the same size as that back add-on is. Right? I'm looking at it right here in my picture.
Yes. I still don't understand what you mean by not
So
proportional
that's
to the
half
house.
The size of, a fourth of the size of your house.
Okay,
The back, that
all right. Okay,
is a fourth of the size of your house.
okay, and okay,
I
all right.
believe you have the measurements listed here. You said 20 by 30?
Yes, ma'am. On
17
the-
by 20.
On the carport, 17 by 20.
I'm looking at page 39 of 58. That's, I guess, oh, I'm looking at the deck. Never mind, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it may have been.
Look at page 42. 42 of 58.
Let's see. Got it, 17 by 20, I see it. Okay, did anybody else have any questions or comments about this? We want to move on to the next part, or Faye, do you want to share the picture with everybody?
Okay. Here, and it's about the same width as that addition to the house. And also it bothers me, it's, looks like a barn.
Do you want to tell us about the deck?
It's 20 by 30. It's made out of composite wood, that'll never rot. And it has hog wire on the sides, and it's not visible from the road.
Anybody have any questions about or concerns about the deck?
Well, other than it's just country looking next to that fine white house. All that unpainted wood just stands out like a sore thumb.
Only if you're in my backyard.
What?
Only if you're in my backyard.
Oh, you don't have to be in your backyard, in your side yard, and I see it from the front yard and from the.
Ma'am, you cannot see my porch from the front or side yard. I can promise you
I
that.
was there.
I'm there every day, Miss Fay. I promise you.
I said, when I went around to the back and to the side where those,
Okay, where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here, ladies?
We can't hear you though when you're that close.
up on the
to
microphone.
Where do we go from here?
All right, we're going to ask if anybody else has any questions or any comments about the deck or any kind of, anything, let's, that we can use to move forward with the deck.
I'm just curious why you chose to use the stain rather than paint the wood.
With that Fraser fir wood, in my opinion, it looks much better when you can see the wood grain from it. But I mean, if you want me to paint it white, I'll paint it white.
And Laura, am I right in thinking that we can't choose a color, can we?
we don't have to.
We don't have that.
I didn't know I had to talk with anybody about the exterior color of anything, which is what it says in your
The
application.
color is not,
You have no say in stain or
Correct.
for
Thank
stain
you.
or color.
I mean, it is,
We can say paint.
I can paint the house blue, green, or, I was told that when I first bought the house, when I met with Patrick on the yard.
You can.
Okay.
Okay, so the next item on here is the fence. Let's look at that. And before we move to that, I think, Faye, is your point that it should have paint on it at all? Like, not specific to the color, but just the fact that it's not painted?
Right. Well, this is what bothers me, is it makes it's barn looking. It's unfinished, and, a stain, that's okay. But with the house, I think it needs to be painted so that it has that quality, the same quality as the house. Right now, it looks like you've added a barn shed, and then you've go around on the side, and you've got the barn unfinished. Now, I know this is trendy. I know a lot, you'll see it everywhere. But that would not, it's just not in character with that house.
And Laura and Brad, am I right, am I thinking correctly in that, I know we can't specify paint color, but I don't know that we can specify whether something should be painted or not, do you know?
We're in
I do not know.
It's sort of like,
I mean,
and we've discussed this on several houses around town, the trendy shutters, the country shutters that are two boards with.
board and batten,
Yeah, and that were on, like Dick Hester's house on Walton Street.
but he changed them.
Yeah, I think it's sort of in that same vein.
May I say something? I think the home is lovely. Y'all done a beautiful job
you.
with it, but I do think the white on those, on the back would look so much better than this. It makes an old historic house look like it's got a new back on it. And it just, to me, it doesn't go together. I think it's.
I will take that into consideration, but we've poured our heart and soul into this house.
know
We
you
have
have.
kept the interior of that house, every piece of wood, hardwood, everything is still in that house the way it was. We have not added or taken out any walls in the house. The pocket doors are still in there. All the windows that we could keep are still in there, and I think we've done a pretty good job. And
I've
that
been
was
in it,
our,
and it's
that was, I'm sorry.
It's
that-
beautiful.
That was our feeling, is that the carport looked better stained because of the type of wood that we used was so expensive.
Well, the Fraser fir is beautiful.
Yes, ma'am.
And I agree on a different house.
I understand.
That the,
Right. I understand.
you can see all the lines of it, but I think on this house, in my opinion only,
I got you.
that the white would look better.
Brad, did you have something you wanted to add?
I think we were both, I'll let Laura elaborate a little bit. I mean, I think the question for you guys is about harming the historic district in this case, you know.
Right,
and I don't-
I'll agree with that. Is this,
I mean,
I don't
is
see
this
that this is.
contributing, is this not contributing, and I don't think we have an issue
Is it harming
here.
the integrity of the structure, or is it contribute to the district? I think we really need to look at some core questions here.
Right.
So,
Right. I would also like to add that by not painting it white, it is clearly distinguishable as something new. Nobody is going to confuse it as an original piece to the house, which is, of course, one of the key things you consider when doing additions and changes to houses that are historic. You want people to be able to readily notice that it is not a historic piece. And additionally, if you wanted to, you could, not super easily, but it could be removed from the house without damaging the integrity of the structure, which is also something to consider.
I'll agree with that. All right, so let's look at are there any questions or comments on the fence? Let's look at the fence, and then we'll ask the public if they have any comments, and then we'll take a vote. So let's look at the fence.
It's very attractive.
I love it.
Are we gonna vote on these items separately or all together? Laura,
I think since they're already built, you should just vote on them as presented.
as presented, okay. All right. Well, do we have a motion to approve or deny as presented?
Are we doing these one at a time?
No, we're doing them all together.
Okay.
Well, like Laura said, it's already done, so I guess we.
If they were painted, I would make the motion, but I know that I'm just not,
I'll make the motion to approve as presented to us.
Okay, we have a motion to approve as presented. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. Laura has made the motion and Susan has seconded. All in favor? Any opposed?
We need to do a voice vote.
Go ahead.
I was saying, can we get either a vocal or a recap
Yes,
from you?
can we, okay. So all in favor, I guess, of, can we have a vocal approval?
Can we have what?
A vocal approval of whether you're in favor or not?
You would vote in the aye or the nay, you know. on the-
Aye. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody else in favor?
You say, I know, real quick. If it was just white.
If they would just painted it, I'd vote for it. But I can't vote for something that looks like that.
Uh,
I mean, even if it's painted black.
Madam Chairwoman, you may have to vote because it almost seems like we have a tie.
You have to be the tiebreaker. at
You
this
need to be
point,
the
so you have a
tiebreaker.
You have a 2-2, so, I mean, the motion is to approve as presented.
Should we let somebody speak before we finish the vote?
I
or-
mean, I mean, it's up to you at this point to break the tie. You have a tie on the vote on the floor.
Well, I'm gonna, looking at this the way, that, you know, I agree with what Laura said, you know, we haven't, I think that we should show a difference between the old and the new, and I think that that's been done, and I don't see that the house has been, the integrity of the house itself is damaged by these additions. So I will vote aye on this,
Thank you.
yes, and let it move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate your time.
Should we ask him about the greenhouse? Is he gonna come before us with that?
What, the greenhouse?
Oh,
Can we ask him a question?
I mean, you have the gentleman here now. I mean, his item's now over, but you have someone waiting for the next item.
the dormers, we need to, yeah.
To the accessory garage.
Do what?
To the accessory garage, you said greenhouse. I'm not sure what we're talking about.
That's another property I have.
Yeah, that's another property. You're talking about the dormers on the,
Yeah.
On the
with
garage.
That, yeah. He's got shed dormers.
Oh, it's
I
not,
mean, I'll be honest with you, when the framer got there, we talked about it, we spaced it out. He said, I think these dormers look better. We looked at it, I didn't even think about that.
right, I mean, this is,
You know, and
I
I
think this is
said-
her concern, is this what was approved by them? And
No, I understand, but at the same time, they recommended I do round garage doors, and I didn't do those either.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
not-
like, it's kind of like they can change the plans, but
No.
I can't. I mean, I you know, I don't.
No, I said eyebrow window, eyebrow dormers.
But I
But you would
didn't-
have had to have come to gotten that approved.
I just, when we laid it out,
Just let him have it, everybody. I'm tired of arguing with him, and that's what he wanted anyway. So that's fine. I'm not gonna argue with you.
ma'am, I think we built a very distinguishable property in here.
You did, but
and
you
the-
don't have
the-
to
the-
argue.
The property,
Alright,
I haven't
That's-
argued
that's
anything,
enough.
ma'am.
Let's move forward, let's take it
enough.
down a notch. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We have a third item of business, the request for COA 511 South Madison Avenue, the fence. Thank you, sir, for coming here. Can you tell us what you'd like to do with the property?
You did a great job with your house.
Thank you. Just trying to get some more privacy. I took down all the trees on the backside of the privacy, on the property line and removed some, and it just kind of showed the fence on the right side as a metal fence. It just kind of taking away from the property. I've been trying to sell it for a little while now, and I've had a lot of feedback in the comments just about not having the privacy that people are looking for. So really just trying to do anything to get it sold right now. So I would put, on the left-hand side of the house, I would wrap it into the house with a gate on that side. On the other side of the house, I would extend the fence down the right-hand side along the chain link fence. I did talk to the neighbor next door, and they don't want me messing with their fence, so I would have to put it just right next to the chain link fence. Wrap it to the side of the house. And the other house to the right, you know, it's a cute little house, but the porch looks directly at my house, and I've had a lot of comments on that. So I was thinking about pulling the fence a little bit further. There's some bushes, and basically taking to the end of the bushes, which won't be that close to the street, but it kind of gives a little bit more privacy if somebody wanted to sit on their porch and not have somebody just watch them the whole time.
You have a very feisty neighbor next door. Little lady there.
I mean, I personally, she's awesome.
Would you come show me where, this is the chain link fence. And this is what you're wanting to do, right?
Yeah, so I would bring it along the chain link fence, wrap it to the end of the chain link fence, wrap it to the house.
Right, there's a window right here, isn't there?
Yes.
What would you think if you dropped it back to there and then went across?
I wouldn't have much of a problem with that.
Okay,
My
because
main-
I think.
My main part is just having,
Yeah,
know,
yeah, I think with the size of your house, the way all that's frontal, that if you drop back a little bit, it would make the house be more
yeah,
important than the
I just would
fence.
have to see how close the,
Just come back to the
HVAC
window.
The HVAC is next
Yeah.
to it, 'cause I can't put it in the HVAC.
Right.
But I would have no problem with that.
I just was suggesting to him, because I've been in his house, that he move the fence back a little bit and not
Not to
extend
the
it
edge of the house,
in
maybe
front,
move it back, but
the side, just move it back about 2 feet.
still creating the same thing I want anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'll just would look aesthetically
Yeah.
more pleasing.
Just have to look at it because I want it to, well, I guess that wouldn't matter because I would just take it. Doesn't matter that the chain link fence goes past that point. I still could bring it across that way. I don't know, I'll have to look at it because it might look like we bring it
With the
up.
chain link's kind of jutting out.
The chain link's going right there, and then if you brought it up, it's like you have an extra part going past the chain link, and then this extra part coming down in front of the bushes. It's almost like you'd have too many little.
Pieces. Yeah.
Well, I'm
I'll
not
look
going
at- I'll
to
look-
say this is not okay. I'm just
Yeah.
saying I think it would aesthetically look better. But if you have to do it like this, you have to. I know I see what you're saying. It's like a little jut right there.
Yeah, so if I bring it back here, then you're kind of jutting out here, and then
Right.
I'm jutting out
Yeah,
here.
that might not look good.
It might look a
Yeah, I
little
see
odd.
what you're
But we
saying.
can kind of play with it.
Play with it a little bit. Yeah, okay.
Does anybody have any questions or any comments? Additional comments?
And this is like what you've already done in the back, right? This
It'll be the same dog-eared,
same height?
It's 6-foot fence,
6 foot.
right?
dog-eared, yeah.
You did what's in the back, didn't you?
Yeah, when we took that stuff down, like, I found out later that the people in the trailers behind it were actually ripping the fence out, and they were burning it inside their, for warmth in the
Need some,
winter.
need firewood, man. Somebody got more sun.
I mean, there's no way for me to not, I couldn't have left it like that, you know? I had to put something up.
But it's gonna match that.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
No,
What's that?
is it gonna match what's in the back?
Well, that's 100%,
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay. I move we accept it.
I do too.
We have a motion?
I move that we accept the fence, the 6-foot fence that he's proposed.
Do we have a second? Jane is seconded. All in favor? We have a verbal aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimously accepted. All right, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you.
You.
Thank you for
Yeah,
seconding.
well, I'll be in touch with you about the other stuff.
That's when my mom grew up.
All right. Laura, am I right in thinking that we are going to adjourn at this time?
What? My mother grew
All right. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Do we have a second?
second.
Okay, we have a motion by Jane and a second by Susan. All in favor? Can we have a verbal aye?
Aye.
I'm sorry I acted like that, but I'm telling you,
Okay.
he got.
And
we're adjourned.
so adjourned.
We're
Thank you
adjourned.
so much.
okay.
Now we conclude the HPC meeting of September 27th, 2022.